Thanks. Good morning, everyone, on this very gray day. I'm Bobby Kaplan, Vice Chair of the Group Insurance Commission, and I'm filling in as chair today. I'd like to welcome all of our YouTube viewers to this February 6th meeting. Sorry.
Okay, go right ahead.
Of the Group Insurance Commission. We're joined today by the following commissioners: designee Dana Sullivan for A&F, designee Rebecca Butler for DOI, Elizabeth Chabot, Commissioner Jane Edmonds, Commissioner Joseph Gentile, Commissioner Girzino Garand, Commissioner Eileen McEnany, Commissioner Melissa Murphy Rodriguez, Commissioner Jason Silva, Commissioner Anna Sineko, Commissioner Timothy Sullivan, and Commissioner Catherine West. Matt, if you could review the agenda.
Happy to. Thank you, Madam Chair. And just one note that Commissioner Edmonds was not able to join us today, so just correct that for the record. That was a late change in our materials. Welcome, commissioners. Thank you, Vice Chair, for sitting in for our chair today. We'll work together to manage the meeting, which should be a short meeting. As commissioners know, this is the second in a series of 3 meetings that we hold every year to prepare for our coming annual enrollment. We previewed the proposed plan design changes in our January meeting. We are here today to vote on those plan design changes. And then, of course, we will come back together later in February to vote on our final rates. And then we'll be off to the races, getting ready to launch annual enrollment and all the back end work that the team needs to do. So we have just really 2 items. It's our Deputy Executive Director, Erica Schiavelli, will report on our annual public information sessions, which again, were very successful. Was it last week? I guess it was just last week. And then we'll have Cameron McBean, our Director of Vendor Management, who will essentially review the plan design proposed changes for the year. I will note that these are unchanged entirely from what we presented to you back in January. As you know, we like to try to keep real substantive plan design changes to our procurement years. So that is the meeting, expected to be short and pretty straightforward. With that, happy, Bobby, to turn it back to you for a review of minutes.
Sure. We have, I assume everyone has read the minutes from our last meeting on January 16th. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. I'm not certain who was the second?
Joe Gentile.
Okay, thanks, Joe. I'll now turn to Andrew Stern, our General Counsel, to read the motion.
Thank you, Vice Chair. The motion on the table is that the Commission approves the minutes of its meeting held on January 16th, 2025, as provided or presented. I will now call the roll and just indicate whether you're voting affirmatively or not. Vice Chair Kaplan.
Aye.
Designee Sullivan.
Aye.
Thank you. Designee Butler.
Aye.
Commissioner Choate.
Aye.
Commissioner Gentile.
Yes.
Commissioner Garand. You're on mute.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner McEnany.
Aye.
Commissioner Murphy Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Silva.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Sinenko,
Yes.
Commissioner Sullivan,
Yes.
and Commissioner West.
Yes.
I don't believe Commissioner Shabbat has joined yet. The motion passes unanimously of those present.
Thank you. Matt, if you would like to, go over, I'll turn to you for your report, for your, the executive director's report.
All right, had myself on mute. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Due to the short turnaround time between commission meetings this month, we have not compiled a written executive director's report, but I do want to provide a few verbal updates. Number one, the governor's budget, House 1, was recently released. We are evaluating the budget for impacts to the GIC as always. And we'll track it closely as it makes its way through the House and Senate in the coming months. I think, as folks know, this is the beginning of a lengthy process, but this kicks off that process. On the federal level, we are, of course, aware of the change in leadership in the White House. Understandably, this is causing concern among many corners of what this means for Massachusetts, including the programs and priorities of state government. Of course, we share those concerns, but I want you to know that the GIC is not nearly as exposed to these changes as other areas of state government. Our funding streams and programs here at the GIC are overwhelmingly controlled by state leaders, state government, including this commission, and they're just largely not as dependent on decisions made in Washington. Our colleagues at EOHHS are coordinating across state agencies, including those that, especially those that are healthcare or healthcare adjacent, and that includes us at the GIC. And we collectively are keeping a very close eye on areas of potential impact. But the bottom line, I think, for this commission, I feel comfortable assuring you that nothing is changing for the GIC's programs and initiatives. And this includes notably our strategic focus on improving health equity and our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging in everything that we do. These are not bad words in my view, and I suspect not in this commission's view. And we will continue to embrace all of them and lean into those. So, in addition, just sort of back to the kind of day-to-day work of the commission, our preparations for annual enrollment are in full swing. As a reminder, this year's annual enrollment will begin on April 2nd and will end on May 1st. Benefit statements are available to our members in their My GIC Link member portal. So you can review your benefits, make any necessary updates to your personal information prior to annual enrollment. For those that do not have not registered for the portal, we have sent a paper member benefit forms, including retirees, everyone who has not registered for the portal. Meetings are also underway, I will note, for the GIC's newest municipal entrant, the town of Holliston. Very happy to have them coming on board this year. And we're on track to have everything ready for them for annual enrollment. Another municipal note is that at the end of January, the GIC once again attended and had a presence at the Mass Municipal Association's annual conference. They called it Connect 351 this year, the conference and trade show. Again, a really good opportunity for us to engage with municipalities that are participating in GIC or want to participate in the GIC, as well as a number of vendor partners of ours who were there. Always a really good opportunity for us to have a presence there. I want to thank Erica Shabelli, our Deputy Executive Director, and Janine Dewar, our Manager of Ancillary and Pharmacy Benefits, for helping staff and sort of organize the booth this year. So another successful presence at the MMA. So lots going on. Happy to take questions, comments from the board on anything that I've updated on.
No questions? I have one, actually. If I could, first of all, thank you, Matt, for your comments. I really appreciate them, and I'm sure the other commissioners and our constituents do as well. I wanted to ask you, so with Holliston added now, how many municipalities, I should probably know the answer to that, but I'll ask you, how many have joined the GIC now?
I'll defer that question to Erica. I think I know the answer, but I believe it's 39 plus a number of other non-municipal public entities. Am I correct?
That's correct. That's correct. It's 39. And then when you add in all the other municipal related entities, as you mentioned, Matt, we're at 55.
Oh, that's terrific. That's great. Thanks.
Sure.
Matt,
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I'll turn it back to you.
No, I was just going to make one other comment when I'm mentioning the Mass Municipal Association. That's particularly relevant to some of the decisions we're making this year, which is I think commissioners know that municipalities have a variety of options when they're purchasing benefits for their members. They can join the GIC, they can join the MMA's Massachusetts Interlocal Insurance Association, MIA. And this year, the MIA plans are seeing similar cost trends as the GIC. In fact, I'd say they're more concerning even than our trends. So the average quoted increase for MIA plans for municipalities is nearly 15% this year for active employees and 20% for Medicare plans. So just to give a little context to the challenges that we face here, others are facing them as well, and in some cases even more pronounced than ours. So we do anticipate that over the coming year, we will have some expressed interest from some municipalities that may be interested in joining the GIC.
Thank you for that, Matt. That's I don't even know what to say about that. So I'll turn it back to you. I'm very interested in hearing about the public information session.
Yep. So
Thanks.
just very briefly here before we hand it over to Erica, just note our calendar. This has not changed since we've last shown it to you. We, of course, after this vote, we will, as I said earlier, compile our final rates and move on to all the work to prepare for annual enrollment. We will then likely take a break until at least April and perhaps May before we hold our next commission meeting. This is a very busy time of year for the GIC, for the staff. So that's and again, as I've said before, as we get through and past annual enrollment, the remaining meetings of the year in May and June, we will populate with some additional, likely with some additional agenda items.
Thank you. Are there any questions before we, here are the about the public information sessions? Okay. Erica? Erica, it's all yours.
Thank you, Vice Chair Kaplan. Good morning, commissioners and attendees. So I'm pleased to report today on our public information sessions that we held just last week. As you know, we had 3 different sessions. January 28th, we held 2, one at noon and one at 6 p.m. And then on the 30th, we held one at 9 a.m. Again, we try to cover a range of times to allow various groups of folks to join. All of these sessions were recorded and they are available on our YouTube page. So as you can see, I just tried to provide kind of a by the numbers for registrants and attendees. You can see that per usual, we have a lot more registrants than we have actually attend. But we actually had a really significant amount of attendees this year. Typically, we expect about half. So usually the January 28th, 6 p.m. meeting is that percentage, 48%, is typically representative of what we would get for each meeting. And as you can see, the first and third meetings had well over that. And overall, we had almost 70% of attendees, 70% of registrants actually attended. We did have slightly less registrants this year than we had last year, but we had more attendees overall than we had last year. So, and we had around the same amount of questions and comments, 557 questions and comments answered and responded to by GIC staff. Are there any questions on this page? Okay. So we had live captioning for each session, and we had a request for ASL interpreters, American Sign Language interpreters, for the very first session. Like I said, all of our sessions were recorded and they're on YouTube already for viewing, as well as the presentation slides and FAQs are on our website. And an email with all of those resources is going to be sent to members and coordinators right after, I think, this meeting. So we have another meeting right after this to firm that up. Any questions on this slide? Great. So we had a few common themes. You know, retirement is down at the bottom, but that is the one that we get the most questions about, I'd say. And Paul Murphy, Director of Operations, does an excellent job of kind of giving an overview and then fielding all of the questions thereafter. We had quite a few questions about the change in the dental and vision vendor, all easily answered, but quite a few questions there. And then, of course, affordability questions, wanting to know why the rates are increasing, when they'll be available to the public, and do we consider member feedback, just about, you know, plans, how plans are structured and that kind of thing. So a wide range of questions. And we also encourage folks, if they had kind of more personal or specific questions, to reach out to us, either at our phone number or on the online contact form. And I can tell you that we've gotten quite a few follow-up questions from there. So overall, pretty similar to years past, with the exception of the change in dental and vision vendor. Okay. So that was it for the public information session slides. I did want to note that I did take a look at our YouTube analytics, especially following Commissioner Edmonds' questions at a previous meeting. Unfortunately, at this time, you know, the videos haven't been up very long, and so it's really difficult to get to that level of information, especially because most folks participated on the Zoom side rather than on the YouTube side. So I will continue to monitor the YouTube analytics page to see if we can glean some more information from there. But at this time, there isn't any specific demographic information that I can turn to report back. And that was all I had. Happy to take any questions.
I just, are there any questions or comments anyone wants to make? If not, I just wanted to comment. I attended the first session, and I have to say, from a member perspective myself, it was terrific, and I want to compliment Matt and Paul Murphy and Cameron McBean, who did a terrific job of presenting, of explaining, listening to the many questions. I think Emily too, Emily Williams, I don't want to forget her either. She was monitoring the chat, and there were so many questions in the chat, I could barely keep up just reading them. It was really great. And just about every question that people had that was of a general nature was responded to. It was great. Of course, there were always people who ask, more specific questions related to their particular situations, and those really can't be addressed, but they were handled in a very, very, nice way, letting people know that they will be responded to. Everyone, I think, Eric, I probably left you out and I apologize, but everyone did a terrific job. It was so well done and presented. So I just wanted to thank everyone, and forgive me if I left anyone out. But the whole team did just a great job. So thank you.
Thank you. Janine Dewar, Donna Wortman, Andrew Stern. I think those are the other three.
Of course, yes. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Just wanted to make sure they got their shout too. We had a
Oh
lot
no,
of
they
folks,
also, yes.
we had a lot
So
of folks in
thank
the
you.
questions answering live in real time, which is not easy to do. And so really appreciate all the time and effort GIC staff put in. Thank you, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Erica, and thank you, Vice Chair, for the compliments to the team. It really is an all hands on deck exercise for us to be able to answer hundreds of questions over the course of an hour or an hour and a half. As Erica noted, a significant number of the questions we get are directly related to the material that we present around plan design and rates and the change to the dental and vision. But we also, it's just a good opportunity for us to interact one-on-one with our members in real time on any question that they have, especially around retirement. There's just so many variables that members have to navigate there. So thank you, Erica. Thank you to the team, and happy to move on to the next agenda item.
Thank you, Matt, and good morning, commissioners. We can go ahead and move on to the next slide. I'm going to be walking through a number of the plan design tweaks that we intend for fiscal year 26. A lot of these have been touched on previously, and we just are hoping to get the commission's approval and sign off. Most of these changes are very much what we consider below the line items. They are not major services that are expected to have a significant financial impact on the plan. So starting off with the medical plans, we will be incorporating the Hinge Health app through our partnership with CVS. This is a musculoskeletal app that can do virtual physical therapy sessions and provide additional resources for those members experiencing musculoskeletal issues such as, strains, sprains, chronic pain, that sort of thing. We also want to harmonize and enhance the fertility benefits across our plans. Primarily, this has to do with removing cycle limitations. Those will just be considered based on medical necessity and appropriateness rather than any lifetime limitations. We're also, as a result of our mental health parity audit, going to remove limit sessions or limits on the number of sessions for nutritional counseling available to members. Next slide, please. And there are also going to be a number of changes as a result of the PACT Act that the state legislature passed at the end of December. We are still working with CVS and our medical consultants from Willis Towers Watson to identify the heart conditions or medications that we are going to cover at no cost on the generic or reduced cost for brand medications for those heart conditions. We are looking at this through a number of lenses, not just financial impact and number of utilizers, but also from a health equity perspective. And this PACT Act also includes a continuity of care program that allows members to continue a medication that may move off the formulary. Next slide, please. And then there have been a number of legislative mandates that have impacted the GIC, and we're just looking to codify these. This isn't directly related to the medical plans, but of course we did increase the the basic life and AD&D benefit is now going to be $10,000 as of July 1st. So we are very pleased and excited by that progress. There will be mandates to enhance coverage for advanced imaging for breast cancer screenings, coverage for human donor milk and postpartum services, including home visits from midwives, changes to pain management mandates, including removing utilization controls for non-opioid pain medications, and then enhanced coverage for assisted services for those members with Down syndrome. Next slide. Before I get into some of the proposed changes for dental and vision, are there any comments or questions on the medical side from the commission?
Commissioner McNamee.
Hi, good morning. So I am just curious, it seems like there are a whole host of new mandates, and if you're able to estimate the additional cost from those, or if you have an idea how much that will add to the cost.
In a lot of cases, those have already been baked in at this point, especially those prior, the last slide with the prior mandates, those have already become effective. So those have already been baked in to the plan. The additional cost is projected to be relatively minimal. But yes, these are enhancements that favor the membership. So they are either services that are being additionally covered or newly covered, or other enhancements to cost sharing in the members' favor. So yes, there is some financial impact. I think all told, it varies from plan to plan depending on what the current state was. In some cases, there was some variation. Again, these are our efforts, also part of our efforts to harmonize benefits across the plan so that, one plan isn't better for those seeking fertility services than another. That's not something we want our membership shopping on. So it does vary somewhat from plan to plan. I think all told, on the high side, it might have had an increase of about 2.5%. For some carriers.
So I guess my question thank you. And my question kind of more generally is we have this ongoing tension, right, between the growing cost of health insurance and then a slate of new mandates. And I guess I'm just wondering if the GIC is able to estimate the cost of those mandates, because I think we just need full information, and I may be speaking more about the legislature in this instance, but I think we have to understand impacts on cost when we expand. So I'm just wondering if GIC has tools to be able to do that.
We do. On our actuaries, I don't have the specifics in front of me or close at hand, but we can absolutely get that for you.
Okay, I'd be curious. Thank you.
And yeah, we're happy to kind of gather some more information on that, Commissioner McEnany. And I will say, as these pieces of legislation move through the legislature, we are frequently asked and sometimes not asked about the impacts and our opinions on these. And when it comes to any mandate that adds cost and limits flexibility of the GIC as a plan sponsor, we express those concerns to the legislature.
Thank you.
Are there any? Yes, I have a couple of questions, which is, I'm just, and you may not have the answer to these right now, but I was curious as to, there's a non-addictive pain medication that was just approved by the FDA. And I was curious whether, or if if that will be covered or if that will be on the formulary. Also which, has there been a decision on which two heart conditions, I guess, will be
We're still working
covered?
on the heart condition question.
Okay.
And on the non-opioid pain medication, we're happy to take that back and circle back with you, Madam Vice
Okay.
Chair. Yeah.
Thank you. And also I'm assuming during open enrollment or the heart conditions will be identified, when the benefit guides are ready for distribution. Is that it?
We will also be trying to finalize that so that we can factor that in with our actuaries for final rate setting.
Okay. And the Hinge, and I have one more question about the Hinge Health app. Will that also sort of be, there'll be instructions about downloading the app and how to access it and all that in the benefit guide or during open enrollment?
Yes, we
Okay.
will be including language about the Hinge Health app in the benefit guide, and CVS will also be assisting with marketing efforts.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I just want to comment that I think these changes are just wonderful for the membership. It's great. So thank you.
You're welcome. Any further questions on medical plans? Not seeing any, so I will move on to our proposed changes to the dental and vision plans. A little bit better news here. We're able to propose enhancements to all the dental plans as a result of this recently concluded procurement and the switch from MetLife to Altus. We are proposing increasing the dental annual maximums for both plans available to active members eligible for GIC dental, as well as the retiree plan. We're also going to be able to move to a fiscal year plan year rather than a calendar-based plan year. So now the dental benefits will align with all of our other plans. There will be no cost sharing for routine dental care for children under the age of 13 on the active plans. And we're adding adult orthodontia to the retiring plan, along with increasing or enhancing the table of allowance that governs the reimbursement structure. Also, retirees will be able to receive free preventive services, cleanings and exams if they see an in-network provider. These plan designs are coming at a minimal expense. The active plan participants will actually still see a small premium reduction, even with these enhancements. And the impact on the retirees, because that's, it's a different type of product. Any enhancement in the benefits is going to have a more direct and immediate impact on premiums, but that increase, again, will be minimal. Any Commissioner McEnany? You're on mute.
Thank you. It's pretty startling to see the trend in medical care versus dental care and the ability to expand benefits with reduced or minimal cost. And I guess I'm just wondering, if you can shed some light on that. Does it have anything to do with the ballot initiative that was enacted? Is it simply a matter of changing carriers, which is another conversation, or kind of, can you just elaborate on what's going on in this
in
the dental field?
As fully insured products, the risk lies with the carrier for these, and Altus was very aggressive in pursuing our business, and we don't have concerns, major concerns at this time that they will be unable to deliver. So we feel good about this, and this is really just a matter of, a successful procurement, in terms of the marketplace working and, competition amongst the bidders.
I agree with you, Cameron. If I can add one thing, we've seen time goes by fast, right? So this is the third time I've seen the dental procurement, and it's been very aggressively bid on. I think it really is that market dynamic. People really want this business, and Altus bid on it aggressively. As Cameron said, we're confident that they can perform. But I think it was really competitive, and we do BAFOs during the bid process and all of that, and we just see the pricing and the enhancements were put on the table. So it's good for the members, but I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I would say too that just the dental care landscape is just very different from the healthcare landscape. And when you look at the relative market leverage between the carrier and the provider, it's just very different for dental. And as we've said many times before, it's the market leverage of these highly consolidated healthcare provider systems that are really one of the key, if not the key reason why healthcare premiums continue to rise at such an alarming rate. You just don't have that same kind of market dysfunction on the dental provider carrier side. And I would say as a result of that, just the dental insurance plan is also very different from a health insurance plan, as Cameron frequently reminds us, right? It's a very different benefit. It's capped at a certain amount, so we're able to structure that. So look, I think, and I just point to the comment that Cameron made, which is this is what happens when we procure for most benefits, right? Outside of healthcare, for most procurements, it's the way it should work, right? That you have a competitive process, you have a competitive marketplace, you have a functioning market as it relates to providers and carriers, and we're able to deliver more value at a similar or lower cost. It's just a different market. Cameron, if I said any of that incorrectly, correct me.
No, I just wanted to reemphasize the point that you touched on. These are capped benefits. That's what that annual maximum is. The most liability that a dental carrier is going to have for one of our members is now going to be $1,750 a year up from 1,500. So, you know, it is very much a different product, you know, and dental insurance. I've been doing this for, you know, getting up towards 2 decades now. And I learned a long time ago to say there's really no such thing as a great dental plan anymore. But we were able to make some great enhancements, and you know, we consider this a solid win for both the GIC and the membership.
Thank you. I guess my only thought is, I mean, I understand that there are differences, capped benefit being the major one, but I do just wonder if there are lessons to be learned, because it seems like the dynamic is very different in the dental market from the health insurance. And I don't know, just given the trends and the cost and all of that, just seems like if there are some best practices or lessons to be learned, it's worth looking into. That's all.
Good comment. Thank you, Eileen.
I have a couple of questions, Cameron.
Sure.
The 1750 max, is that per, you know, per member, per?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess my other question is on the preventive services for retirees. So if you know, a retiree is seeing an out-of-network dentist, will they receive like a reimbursement? Like, will they be able to submit for reimbursement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Thank you.
Yeah, it would be treated the same as currently
Okay.
if they went out of network.
All right. Thank you. All right. If there are no other questions, we will entertain the motion, which is that the commission approves the GIC staff's plan design recommendations as presented beginning in FY 2026, which begins July 1st of this year. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. And Andrew, will you
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair.
thank you.
I just know who made the motion? I have to
think
record
I
it.
did. I spoke up, Andrew Toby. Cho.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Choate. You have to have it right in the minutes.
Okay.
I'll now call the roll. Vice Chair Kaplan,
Aye.
Designee Sullivan, thank you. Designee Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Choate,
Approved.
Commissioner Gentile,
Yes.
Commissioner Guerin,
Yes.
Commissioner McEnany,
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Silva,
Yes.
Commissioner Sinenko,
Aye.
Commissioner Sullivan,
Yes.
and Commissioner West.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, commissioners. It's an important step for us. Very much appreciate the dialogue and support from the commission as we proceed to the next step.
Okay.
And with that, Madam Chair, I think we just move to other business, if there is any.
Okay. Is there any other business? Any comments, questions, concerns? Okay. So I guess that's it. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Was that you, Commissioner West?
It was not
Second by
actually. I was going
it
to, but
was
someone.
not.
Commissioner
Designee
McNady
Butler.
motion.
I know Commissioner McEnany made the motion, but
Designee Butler seconded it. Yeah.
oh, thank you. Sorry.
I was going to, but she beat me to it. So thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, the ayes have it. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all. Thanks for bearing with me.
Thanks,
Thank
Got
you,
my
everybody.
strong
Yeah.